here. I'm still on the mental idea that, in the order, there is a tradition that when something comes up in your mind and you want an answer, you open randomly to the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and you'll find the answer, or to the Gospel of Holy Mother. You open it up, look randomly, and there's your answer. And so I'm kind of liking the idea of okay, I don't have any obvious questions right now, but maybe these things at the back of my mind that I've been thinking of, maybe the answer is in these pages we're going to hear. So I always kind of like thinking, oh, hi, good to see you, Ganga. I always like thinking about that. It's like, oh, they're giving us the answers to what we've been looking for. Okay, so here we're going to start sort of in the middle of the page on 546. Sri Ramakrishna was planning to go to a performance of the Chaitanya Leela. Oh, no, we already read that. That I know for sure. So let's go over to 547. Once Chaitanya Deva was passing through a village. Someone told him of the body of the drum. Oh, we read that too. Okay. Middle of the page, 547. Once upon a time, there was a sadhu who acquired great occult powers. He was vain about them, but he was a good man and had some austerities to his credit. One day the Lord, disguised as a holy man, came to him and said, "Revered sir, I've heard that you have great occult powers." The sadhu received the Lord cordially and invited him a seat. Just then an elephant, oh, we read this, I can't stand to read it again. I hate thinking that, putting that elephant up and down. Okay, bottom of the page. Krishna said to Arjuna, "Friend, if you want to realize me, you will not succeed if you have even one of the 8 occult powers. This is the truth. Once a cross-eyed rich man came here. He said to me, 'You are a Paramahamsa. That is good. You must perform a swasthayana ceremony for me.' What a small-minded person he was. He called me a Paramahamsa and yet wanted me to perform that ceremony. To secure welfare by means of the swasthayana is to exert occult powers. An egotistic person cannot realize God." Do you know what egotism is like? It is like a high mound where rainwater cannot collect. The water runs off. Water collects in lowland. These seeds sprout and grow into trees. Then the trees bear fruit. Therefore, I say to Hazra, never think that you alone have true understanding and that others are fools. One must love all. No one is a stranger. See, it's important to remember that Sri Ramakrishna said that, because people will say, well, Holy Mother was the one who said no one is a stranger, the world is your own, but people forget that Sri Ramakrishna said the same thing. He said, one must love all. No one is a stranger. It is Hari alone who dwells in all beings. Nothing exists without him. The Lord said to Prahlada, "Ask a boon of me." "I have seen you," replied Prahlada. "That is enough. I don't need anything else." But the Lord insisted. Thereupon Prahlada said, "If you must give me a boon, let it be that those who have tortured me may not have to suffer punishment." The meaning of these words, that it is God who tortured Prahlada in the form of the persecutors, and if they suffered punishment, it would really be God who suffered. Radha was mad with prema, ecstatic love of God. But there is also the madness of bhakti. Hanuman's was such. When he saw Sita entering the fire, he was going to kill Rama. Then, too, there is the madness of knowledge. Once I saw Jnani behaving like a madman. He came here very soon after the temple garden was dedicated. People said that he belonged to the Brahmo Sabha of Ram Mohan Roy. He had a torn shoe on one foot, a stick in one hand, and a potted mango plant in the other. After a dip in the Ganges, he began to chant a hymn to the Divine Mother. Then he went up to a dog, held it by the ear, and ate some of its food. The dog didn't mind. Just at that time, I was about to experience the state of divine madness. I threw my arm around Hridoy's neck and said, "Oh, Hriday, shall I too fall into that plight?" I became mad. Narayan Shastri came here and he saw me roaming about with a bamboo pole on my shoulder. He said to the people, he is mad. In that state, I could not observe any caste restrictions. The wife of a low-caste man used to send me cooked greens, and I ate them. I touched my head and lips with the leaf plates from which beggars ate their food in the guest house of the Kali temple. Thereupon Haladhari said to me, "What have you done? You have taken the food left by beggars. How will you marry off your children?" These words aroused my anger. I said to him, "You wretch, isn't it you who take pride in the study of the Gita and the Vedanta? Isn't it you who teach people that Brahman alone is real and the world is illusory? And yet you imagine that I shall beget children? May your mouth that recites the Gita be blighted." To M, you see, a mere study of books avails nothing. One may recite the written part for the drum glibly from memory, but to play the drum is exceedingly difficult. The master continued with a description of his divine madness. Once for a few days, I was out on an excursion with Mathur Babu in his houseboat. We took the trip for a change of air. During that trip, we visited Navadvip. One day, I saw the boatmen cooking with their meal and stood and watched them. Mathur said to me, "What are you doing there?" I replied with a smile, "The boatmen are cooking and their food looks very good." Mathur felt that I might ask the boatmen to give me a portion of their food, so he said, come away, come away." But I cannot do such a thing now. I'm no longer in that mood. Now the food must be cooked by a Brahmin, observing ceremonial purity, and be offered to the deity, and only then can I eat it. Oh, what moods I pass through. At Kamarpukur, I said to Chine Shankari and the other chums of my boyhood days, "Oh, I fall at your feet and beg of you all to utter the name of Hari." I was about to prostrate myself before them all. Therefore, Chine said, "This is the first outburst of your divine love, so you don't see any distinction between one man and another. When the storm breaks and raises the dust, then the mango and the tamarind trees all look the same. One cannot distinguish the one from the other." A devotee: "How can a householder keep on with his worldly duties if he is overwhelmed by bhakti madness or love madness or knowledge madness?" Master, looking at him: "There are two kinds of yogis, the revealed and the hidden. The householder may be a hidden yogi. None recognizes him. The householder should renounce mentally and not outwardly." Ram: "You talk as if you were consoling children. A householder may be a jnani, but never a vijnani." Master: "He may become a vijnani in the end, but it is not good to force oneself into renunciation." Ram: "Keshav Sen used to say, 'Why do people go to him so much? One day he will sting them and they will flee from him.'" Master: "Why should I sting people? I say to people, do this as well as that. Do your worldly duties and call on God as well. I don't ask them to renounce everything," with a smile. One day Keshav was delivering a lecture. He said, "O Lord, grant that we may dive into the ocean of divine madness and go straight into the ocean of Satchidananda." The ladies were seated behind the screen. I said to Keshav, "How can you dive once for all?" Pointing to the ladies, I said, "What will happen to them? Every now you must return to dry land. You must dive and rise alternately." Keshav and the others laughed. Hazra said to me, "You love most those endowed with rajas, those who have great wealth and name and fame." Hold on. "If that is so," he said, "then why do I love people like Harish and Noto?" That's referring to Latu, who is a servant. "Why do I love Narendra? He can't even afford salt to season his roast banana." Sri Ramakrishna left his room and went to the pine grove, talking with him. A devotee followed them with water and a towel. The master was talking about the intended visit at the Star Theater. He said to M, "What Ram says applies to Rajasic people. What is the use of reserving an expensive seat?" That's a seat at the Star Theater. About 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna was on his way to Calcutta. M, Mahendra Mukherjee, and a few other devotees accompanied him in Mahendra's carriage. Thinking of God, the master soon went into an ecstatic mood. After a long time, he regained consciousness of the world. He observed, "That fellow Hazra dares teaches me, the rascal." After a short pause, he said, "I shall drink some water." He often made such remarks in order to bring his mind down to the sense plane. Mahendra to M, "May I get some refreshments for him?" M, "No, he won't eat anything now." Master, still in ecstatic mood, "I shall eat." Mahendra took the master to his flour mill located at Hathi Bagan. After a little rest, Ramakrishna was to go to the theater. Mahendra did not care to take him to his own house, for the master was not well acquainted with his father, Priyanath. Mahendra's second brother was also a devotee of the master. Ramakrishna was sitting on a cot over which a carpet had been spread, and he was engaged in spiritual talk. Master to M and the others. Once, while listening to various incidents of the life of Chaitanya, Hazra said that these were manifestations of Shakti, and that Brahman, the all-pervasive spirit, had nothing to do with them. But how can there be Shakti without Brahman? Husserl wants to nullify the teachings of this place. And when he says this place, he's referring to himself. I've realized that Brahman and Shakti are identical, like water in its wetness and like fire in its power to burn. Brahman dwells in all beings as the Bibhu, the all-pervading consciousness, though its manifestation is greater in some places than in others. Husserl says further that anyone who realizes God must also acquire God's supernatural powers, that he possesses these powers, and he may or may not use them. Yes, one must have control over spiritual power, over supernatural powers. All laugh. He's being sarcastic. Master's smiling. Yes, one must have them in one's grasp. How mean. He who has never enjoyed power and riches becomes impatient for them. But a true devotee never prays to God for them. Ramakrishna washed his face. A smoke was prepared for him. He said to M, "Is it dusk now? If it is, I won't smoke. During the twilight hours of the dusk, you should give up all other activities and remember God." Saying this, he looked at the hairs on his arm. He wanted to see whether he could count them. If he could not, it would be dusk. Remember, in the old days, there weren't like any clocks around. So you'd look, the traditional way was to see if you could count the hairs on your arm. If you couldn't count them, it was dusk, it was getting dark. About 8:30 in the evening, the carriage with the master and the devotees drew up in front of the Star Theater on Beaton Street. He was accompanied by M, Baburam, Mahendra, and 2 or 3 others. They were talking about engaging seats when Girish Chandra Ghosh, the manager of the theater, accompanied by several officials, came out to the carriage, greeted the master, and took him and the party upstairs. Girish had heard of the master and was very glad to see him at the theater. The master was conducted to one of the boxes. M sat next to him, and Baburam or one or other 2 devotees sat by. The hall was brilliantly lighted. The master looked down at the pit and saw that it was crowded. The boxes were also full. For every box, there was a man to fan those who occupied it. Ramakrishna was filled with joy and said to M with a childlike smile, "It's very nice here. I'm glad to have come. I feel inspired when I see so many people together. Then I clearly perceive that it is God who has become everything." M, "It is true, sir." Master, "How much will they charge us here?" M, "They won't take anything. They're very happy that you have come to the theater." Master, "It's all due to the grace of the Divine Mother." The Chaitanya Leela was about to be performed. It was a play about the early life of Sri Chaitanya, who was also known as Nimai, Gora, and Gauranga. The curtain rose. The attention of the audience was fixed on the stage. The first scene depicts a council of sin and the 6 passions. On a forest path behind them walk Viveka, Vairagya, and Bhakti, engaged in conversation. Viveka, that is discernment between what is eternal and what's non-eternal. Vairagya, the dispassion, giving up what's non-eternal. And Bhakti, love of God. Bhakti, or love of God, says to her companions, Gauranga is born in Nadia. Therefore, the Vidyataris, that's the demigoddesses, the Munis, and the Rishis have come down to earth in disguise to pay their respects to him. She sings, "Blessed indeed is this earth, Gora is born in Nadia. Behold the Vidyataris coming in chariots to adore him. Behold the Munis and the Rishis who come allured by the spell of love. The Vidyataris, the Munis, and Rishis sing a hymn to Gauranga, and adore him as an incarnation of God." Ramakrishna watched the scene and was overpowered with divine ecstasy. He said to M, "Look at it. Ah. Sages. O Keshava, bestow thy grace upon thy luckless service here. O Keshava, who dost delight to roam Vrindavan's glades and groves, the goddesses sang. O Madhava, our mind's bewitcher, sweet one who dost steal our hearts, sweetly playing on your flute. Chorus, chant, O mind, the name of Hari. Sing aloud the name of Hari. Praise Lord Hari's name. The sages sang, O thou, eternal youth of Braja, tamer the first Kaliya, that's the serpent, the evil serpent, slayer of the afflicted's fear. The goddesses sang, beloved with the arching eyes, and crest with the arching peacock feather, charmer of Sri Radha's heart. The sages sang, Govardhan's mighty lifter thou, all garlanded with sylvan flowers, O Damodara, Kamsa's scourge. And the goddesses sang, O dark one, who does sport in bliss with sweet Vrindavan's gopi maids. And the chorus sings, chant, O mind, the name of Hari. Sing aloud the name of Hari. Praise Lord Hari's name. And the Vidyataris sang the lines, beloved with the arching eyes, and crest with the arching peacock flower. The master went into deep samadhi. The orchestra played on, but he was not aware of the outer world. Another scene. A guest has arrived at the house of Jagannath Mishra, Nimai's father. The boy Nimai plays about singing with his friends in a happy mood. The song goes, tell me, where's my beloved Vrindavan? Where's my blessed Vrindavan? Where's Mother Yashoda? Where's Father Nanda and Brother Balai? Where are my twin cows, black and white? Tell me, where's my magic flute? Where are my friends Sudama and Sridhama? Where's my Jamuna's bank, my banyan? Where are my beloved gopi maids? Where's Radha, queen of my heart? The guest closes his eyes while offering food to the Lord. Nimai runs to him and eats the food from the plate. The guest recognizes Nimai as an incarnation of God and seeks to please him with the hymns of the 10 incarnations. Before taking leave of Gauranga's parents, he sings, Glory to Gora, the source of bliss. Hail Gauranga, redeemer of the earth. Help of the helpless, life of the living. Slayer of fear in the hearts of the fearful. Age after age we see thy play. New sport, unfolding, moods ever new. New waves rolling, new tales to be told. Thou who bears the whole world's burden, shower on us the nectar of love. Take away our grief and our affliction. You in love's pleasure cave do dwell, hope of the suffering, chastiser of sin, scourge of the wicked. Victory to you. Listening to this hymn, the master was thrilled with ecstasy. The next scene is at Navadvip, on the bank of the Ganges. After bathing the holy water, the Brahmin men and women engaged in worship by the riverside. As they close their eyes, Nimai steals their food offerings and begins to eat them. Brahman loses his temper and says, You scapegrace. That's a new one. You scapegrace, you rascal. You are taking away my offering for Vishnu. Ruin will seize you. Nimai holds on to the offering and is about to run away. Many of the women love him dearly and cannot bear to have him go away. They call to him, Return, O Nimai. Come back, O Nimai. Nimai turns a deaf ear to them. One of the women, however, knows the irresistible charm that will bring him back. She loudly chants the name of Hari, immediately repeats the name of Hari, and comes back. M was seated beside the master. Sri Ramakrishna could not control himself. He cried out, Ah! and shed tears of love. He said to Baburam and M, Don't make a fuss if I fall into an ecstatic mood or go into a samadhi. Then the worldly people will take me for a cheat. Another scene. Nimai is invested with the sacred thread of the Brahmins. He puts on the traditional ochre robe of the sannyasi mother, Sachi, that's his mother. And the women of the neighborhood stand about while he begs for alms, singing, Drop a morsel of food, I pray, into my begging bowl. Alone I roam, a new-made yogi, on the highways of the world. People of Braja, you I love, and so time and again I come to you at hunger's call. I beg my food from door to door. The sun is low. I must seek my home on the Jamuna's bank. Into its water fall my tears, as onward murmuring it flows. The onlookers leave the stage. Nimai stands alone. The gods, in the guise of Brahmin men and women, sing his praises. Men. Your body gleams like liquid moonlight. You have put on a man's dwarfish form. O Lord, you we salute. Women, bewitcher the gopis' hearts. You roam about in the shady groves of Vrindavan's vale. Nimai, hail Sri Radha, glory to Radha. The men sing, the youths of Braja are your friends. You curb mighty Madan's pride. That's the god of love, Cupid, the Indian version of Cupid. Women, your love has made the gopis mad in ecstasy, the Jamuna thrills. Men, Narayana, deluder of the demons, refuge of the fear-stricken gods. Women, O lover of Braja, you do beg the love of Braja's comely maidens. Nimai, hail Sri Radha, glory to Sri Radha. Listening to the music, the master went into a samadhi. The curtain fell and the orchestra played on. In a new scene, Srivas and the other devotees are engaged in conversation in front of Advaita's house. Mukunda sings, sleep no more. How long will you lie in my slumber, O mind? Who are you? Why have you been born? Forgotten is your own true self. O mind, unclose your eyes at last and wake yourself from evil dreams. A fool are you to bind yourself to the passing shows of life, when in you lives eternal bliss. Come out of the gloom, O foolish mind. Come out and hail the rising sun. Now, for some of us who've been around this temple for a long time, we recognize this because Border Prana made an absolutely gorgeous song out of this, which our choir sings from time to time, fairly often. It's a beautiful song. Sri Ramakrishna praised the voice of the singer highly. Another scene. Nimai is staying at home. Srivas comes to visit him. First he meets Sachi. That's his mother. The mother weeps and says, my son doesn't attend to his household duties. My eldest son, Vishwarupa, has renounced the world, and my heart has ached ever since. Now I fear that Nimai will follow in his steps. Nimai arrives. Sachi says to Srivas, look at him. Tears run down his cheeks and breast. Tell me how I can free him from these notions. At the sight of Srivas, Nimai clings to his feet and says with eyes full of tears, ah me, revered sir, I have not yet attained devotion to Krishna. Futile is this wretched life. Tell me, where's Krishna? Where shall I find Krishna? Give me the dust of your feet with your blessing, that I may realize the blue one with the garland of white flowers hanging about his neck. Ramakrishna looked at M. He was eager to say something, but he couldn't. His voice was choked with emotion, and tears ran down his cheeks. With unmoving eyes, he watched Nimai clinging to Srivas's feet and saying, sir, I've not yet attained devotion to Krishna. Nimai has opened a school, but he cannot teach students any longer. Gangadas, his former teacher, comes to persuade him to direct his attention to his worldly duties. He says to Srivas, listen, Srivas, we are Brahmins too, and we're devoted to the worship of Vishnu, but you people are ruining Nimai's worldly prospects. Master to M. That is the advice of the worldly wise. Do this as well as that. When worldly people teach spirituality, they always advise a compromise between the world, and God. M. Yes, sir, that is true. Gangadas continues his argument with Nimai. He says, Nimai, undoubtedly you are versed in the scriptures. Reason with me. Explain to me if any other duty is superior to worldly duties. You are a householder. Why disregard the duties of a householder and follow others' duties? Master to M. Did you notice? He's trying to persuade Nimai to make a compromise. M. Yes, sir. Nimai says to Gangadas, I am not willfully indifferent to a householder's duties. On the contrary, it's my desire to hold to all sides. But, revered sir, I don't know what it is that draws me on. I don't know what to do. I want to cling to the shore, but I cannot. My soul wanders away. I'm helpless. My soul constantly wants to plunge headlong into the boundless ocean. Master, ah me. The scene changes. Nityananda has arrived at Navadvip. After a search, he meets Nimai, who in turn has been seeking him. When they meet, Nimai says to him, blessed is my life, fulfilled is my dream. You visited me in a dream and then you disappeared. The master said in a voice choked with emotion, Nimai said he had seen him in a dream. Nimai is in an ecstatic mood and becomes engaged in conversation with Advaita, Srivas, Haridas, and other devotees. Nitai sings a song suited to Nimai's mood. Where is Krishna? Where is my Krishna? He is not in the grove, dear friends. Give me Krishna. Bring me my Krishna. Radha's heart knows naught but him. At this song, Sri Ramakrishna went into samadhi. He remained in that state a long time. The orchestra played on. Gradually his mind came down to the relative plane. In the meantime, a young man of Karadaha, born in the holy family of Nityananda, entered the box. He was standing behind the master's chair. Sri Ramakrishna was filled with delight at the sight of him. He held his hand and talked to him affectionately. Every now and then he said, "Please sit down here. Your very presence awakens my spiritual feeling." He played tenderly with the young man's hands and lovingly stroked his face. After he had left, Sri Ramakrishna said to M, "He is a great scholar. His father is a great devotee of God. When I go to Kardaha, he visits Shamasundar. The father entertains me with sacred offers, such as one can even buy for 100 rupees. This young man has good traits. A little shaking will awaken his inner spirit. At the sight of him, my spiritual mood is aroused. I should have been overwhelmed with ecstasy if he'd stayed a little longer." The curtain rises. Nityananda is walking in procession in the public road with his companions, chanting the name of Hari. He meets two ruffians, Jagai and Madhai, who are sworn enemies of all religious people. Madhai strikes Nitai with a piece of broken pottery. Nitai is hurt and bleeds profusely, but he pays no heed, inebriated as he is with love of God. Sri Ramakrishna was in an ecstatic mood. Nitai embraces both Jagai and Madhai and sings a song to the two ruffians. "Jagai, Madhai, oh, come and dance," chanting Hari's name with fervor. "What does it matter that you struck me? Dance, dear friends, dance in Hari's name. Sing the name of our beloved. He will embrace you in love's rapture. Let the heavens resound with his name. You've not tasted true emotion. Weep as you chant the name of Hari. And you will see the moon of your soul. Hari's name would I lovingly give you. Nitai calls you to share his love." Nimai speaks to Shashi of his desire to enter monastic life. His mother faints and falls to the ground. At this point, many in the audience burst into tears. Sri Ramakrishna remained still and looked intently at the stage. A single tear appeared in the corner of each eye. The performance was over. Sri Ramakrishna was about to enter a carriage. A devotee asked him how he enjoyed the play. The master said with a smile, "I found the representation the same as the real." The carriage proceeded toward Mahendra's mill. Suddenly Sri Ramakrishna went into an ecstatic mood and murmured to himself in loving tones, "O Krishna, O Krishna. Krishna is knowledge, Krishna is soul, Krishna is mind, Krishna is life, Krishna is body." He continued, "O Govinda, thou art my life, thou art my soul." The carriage reached the mill. Mahendra fed the master tenderly with various dishes. M sat by his side, and affectionately he said to M, "Here, eat a little." And he put some sweets in his hand. With Mahendra and a few other devotees, Ramakrishna left in a carriage for Dakshineshwar temple garden. The master was in a very happy mood. He sang a song about Gauranga and Nitai. M sang with him. "Gaura Nitai, ye blessed brothers, I have heard how kind you are, and therefore have come to you." The master Mahendra talked about the latter's intended pilgrimage. Master smiling. "The divine love in you is barely a sprout now. Why should you let it wither? But come back very soon. Many times I've thought of visiting your place. At last I've done it. I'm so happy." Mahendra, "My life is indeed blessed, sir." Master, "You are already blessed. Your father is also a good man. I saw him the other day. He has faith in the Adhyatma Ramayana." Mahendra, "Please bless me that I may have love for God." Master, "You are generous and you are artless. One cannot realize God without sincerity and simplicity. God is far, far away from the crooked heart." Near Shambhasar, Mahendra bade the master goodbye, and the carriage continued on its way. And that is the end of that chapter. Any comments or questions anyone would like to talk about at this point? Seemed pretty clear. It was lovely hearing Sri Ramakrishna's reactions to the Chaitanya Leela and having this first visit to where Girish really takes in Sri Ramakrishna coming to the Star Theater. Okay, well then we have some announcements. Tomorrow, Swami Sumanasananda will speak on Sri Ramachandra, the perfect man. Next Wednesday, we'll have another reading, probably the final reading, not quite, we're getting towards the end, but not quite the final, of Swami Akhandananda. And then a week from today, there'll be another reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna.
You had a question from Ganga, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Is that Ganga? Oh, you're muted.
That was my bad. I didn't. Hello?
I'm sorry.
Hello?
Hi, Ganga.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear a
Can you
thing.
hear me?
Nope.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, bad service, she says. Okay. All right, we'll try another time. About Bordaprana's song. Yes, she took that song and it is with, she had it both for it's handwritten out. She had it both for organ and for guitar. And we have sung it here on a number of occasions. I don't think we've got a recording of it, but it's really quite lovely. It's two-part harmony. Yes, really lovely. I see Davy Prun on there too. Oh, great. All right, so then we shall conclude with a chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you for joining everybody here, everybody out there. Ah, great to see you, Davy Prana. Yay. Yeah. Get a heart from Leto. Great to see you all. Thank you and see you later. Jai Ma.